Alright, it's an update. So today is October 19th, 2018. My treehouse project. So the hole was like really deep. It was like at least like knee deep. For me, and I'm like 5'7". I got about 3 or 4 more inches to go to fill with concrete. In order to make it flush with the ground. This layer here is at least 5 inches deep right now, and this is 3 80-pound bags of concrete that I did today, and that gave about 5 inches thick on a hole that's a good 2 foot wide. So this 60-pound bag of concrete right here, 60 pounds right there, that's the first thing. That got a few inches in the bottom. And it basically encased an entire concrete block. So then earlier this week I put in these 2 80-pound bags here I got from the local home improvement store. So they are 80 pounds each, the Quikrete brand. So that was giving me 220 pounds. Plus today I put in this 80-pound bag of the Sakrete brand. It's still 4,000 PS, I think it is, strength. After like a month, it's fully set up, and it gives that high strength there. Yeah, it reaches 4,000 PSI strength in 28 days. So there's an 80-pound bag I put in today, and then here's a 80-pound bag I put in today, and here's another 80-pound bag that I put in today. What I like to do is I like to back my vehicle up here, so I don't have to carry the 80-pound bags very far. I set them right here on the edge of this hole. I take a shovel and I stab. You see here, this one I used a pocket knife. That's not the best way. You see this one's tore up pretty bad right there in the front. So are these. And so you can see how I'll lay it on the ground and then stab it right there with a shovel and just drain all that concrete mix out. Pour in, gallon jugs of water, mix it up with a shovel. So that's how I do it. I'm probably going to need at least 160 more pounds to fill up this hole flush with like how deep I dug the hole. So right now I got 460 pounds. So another 60 pounds make it 520. So we're looking at maybe 620 pounds of concrete to fill this hole up. 620 pounds. It's a little bit more than a quarter ton. I don't think I'm going to use that much. It shouldn't need that much to anchor it. I do got at least 4 inches thick of a concrete footer underneath this. That should have mixed better. But what I'll do is I'll put in another, between the tree and the post, I'll put in another 4x4. And then I'll try to make sure there's at least a 4-inch footer. So what I'm going to do in these holes here that I've not yet filled in, I'm just going to pour in concrete and then set the post in there. And I'm going to attach it up there to the thing there. So it's going to basically be suspended, and then the concrete will harden around the post, even underneath it. I'll give it at least 2 days, probably 3 days before I do anything. The 3 days will be strong enough to basically hold its own weight without any support. What the dilemma I got right now is where I needed to put this where I needed to put this post hole. Notice I'm not digging it very wide. It's probably less than a foot wide total. But right about in the middle of it is this green looking pipe. This metal pipe. It's been chipped a little bit from where I've been hitting it with a shovel. It goes, if you follow it the lengthwise, it goes right up toward the house. I hope that's not a gas line. I don't know why a gas line would be out here. It's probably not a very thick inside diameter. It's probably about an inch diameter total, maybe just a little bit more. Now in the bottom of this hole is something kind of solid. That one's about 16 inches deep. This one, I got about a foot deep right over here. I can deal with a foot deep of a hole. That's okay, but the one that's deeper right now, I found this in there. So I wonder if this is another hard thing that I found. This is part of a barbell weight. It's actually got markings on there. And so I guess like decades ago, nearly a century ago, somebody buried their trash out here. It says Decatur. So that's one of the hard things that I hit with my, wait. It's one of the hard things I hit with my shovel. Decatur, what does that sound like to you? Sound like a concrete or a ceramic, or is it a metal? I thought it was like cast iron. It's really thin, so I imagine it's some kind of metal. It wasn't part of the sewer lid cover or whatever, was it? Or water meter cover. This house has a stone foundation, and the paperwork on it for the one that I live in says 1900 on the paperwork, but the appraiser that appraised it for the bank thinks that it's late 1800s, maybe 1890s, or possibly maybe 1880s for the house, just because of the stone foundation on it. I mean, it's old. There's still 2 outlets in there that's got its from when this house was originally electrified. It could have been in the 40s. Probably no later than the 60s, because they're not the, the NEMA sockets, N-E-M-A. They're not the sockets that were started in the 70s and that you've seen in the 80s, where they had a ground wire and that was polarized. They're non-polarized, and there's no ground wire. I've seen those kind of wires in a house built in 1945 that had its original electrical. So this, like, who even knows? Like, who owned this house before? It's an old house, and I'm just wondering what I'm finding here. What I might do is dig out this thing here, dig around it, that green pipe looking thing, and find out what it is. Dig around it. I mean, if it's just like some little piece of whatever that's buried in there, I could take it out and I'm safe, but hopefully I don't have to really move my post holes and make the treehouse kind of somewhere else, kind of change the dimensions of it. I might have to, but I've already kind of thought I was going to lock into a 8-foot by 12-foot kind of size. I may have to change it to a 12 by 10 or something like that, or like whatever. Yeah. Oh well, I could still use the wood for some other project. I've only bought like a few 8-foot long 2x6s, not like enough to like throw away my investment. Actually, on lumber, Here's my lumber that I got. Got a 12-foot long 4x4, all pressure treated. I got 2 of these 8-foot long 2x6s, and then a 12-foot long 2x6, and then a 10-foot long 4x4 that's pressure treated. So it's not like I'm gonna, like, if I have to change my dimensions, it's not like I wasted like a whole lot of money. And I can just buy all this stuff incrementally, like maybe once a week, buy another 4x4 or 2x6, or switch to 2x8s or like whatever. And then because I do want to expand and build more, so it's not like that wood's gonna go to waste. Anyway, other landmarks in my yard, for people that might be familiar with my YouTube channel, is here's where I burned that mushroom. Still hasn't grown grass back there. You see it's still kind of round around there. The grass around it's still trying to grow back, but that's where I burned that mushroom, set it on fire, watched it burn. It was a puffball mushroom. And other things in my yard is I found this today. So, a metal eye loop, and it's like down in the ground pretty good. Not sure what's going on, but so what it's leading me to believe, there's just like a bunch of like artifacts back here. Here's a piece of a metal pipe just sitting here on the concrete pad for the shed. And then back in the woods, there's like all kind of junk back there. There's even like an old TV that somebody threw back here before I moved here in the summer of 2014. So who knows what's going on. I got my tiki torch. I should have bought maybe a month earlier, so the mosquitoes wouldn't be bothering me so bad. So I gotta see how deep I can dig this post hole. So what I'm going to do is in between this post hole for the front of the treehouse, I'm going to build like another one kind of midway between the one I just showed you and then this one here with that green pipe in there. And then on the back side you can see I got a post hole about 4 foot over to the side. I got another post hole I'm digging. And they're all going to work with the first post hole I built. So yeah, ideally it would have been nice to use 6x6s. But, you know, I can always use more 4x4s. That'll help not just support the weight. Yeah, it'll help support more weight more evenly than just doing a 6x6 on each corner. And then also it will help to make it more stable in the wind. The only part I think that I'm not going to have any support post in the middle is kind of in the front of it between the tree and this post here. That's because it might not be needed, because 3 out of the 4 sides are going to be well supported. And then I want something that I can park a vehicle underneath. I've always wanted a carport, which in this case, if it's this easy, I might just build one out of 4x4s and something. And yeah, build me a carport for my vehicles. I don't need a full garage. I was wanting to use this treehouse kind of like as a carport for one of my vehicles. But I have to check the width of it to see how well it's going to work. Depends on how wide vehicles are. They're not 6 foot wide, are they? They're, I need to get measuring tape. That's probably no more than 5 foot on that vehicle. Probably no more than 5 feet wide. And then I measured out about 8 feet between the tree and then this post hole there. So I might be able to squeeze a vehicle in here. Yeah, it's going to be a tight squeeze, but you know, the good thing is if I have to move because of that pipe, it'll be an extra maybe 2 feet wider or so, and then that means it'd be easier to fit a vehicle in. Yeah, there's still a little bit stagnant on the treehouse. I'm digging post holes, which now I have to slow down on that. When I have to get out the the ladder fell over and then it popped out a... Wow, if that's the case, it was just missing a bolt, then I can do that. I thought I was going to have to rivet it with a pop rivet gun or whatever, but it's just a bolt. I think I snapped one. It's probably old anyway. And his ladder's probably like as old as I am, or close to it. And I'm 38 years old. So around here there's probably like a bolt or something like that. I can just go get an 1/8 inch thick bolt and go get a nut for it. And that'd be good to go on that. Yeah, they don't take anything really big. 1/8 inch bolt, I think, will handle the weight of a person pretty well. It's about a 4mm hole. Yeah, the concrete's setting up there. It's getting a little bit thicker. I wonder if it's getting thick enough I can write my... It's been sitting for at least an hour. I wonder if it's thick enough I can begin to write my name in there. Might give it a try here in another half an hour. You can see it's starting to thicken around the walls. Like that. It's starting to... I tried to do it at first, but it was a little kind of really thin and runny. So I'm going to probably put Naugle, that's Naugle, and probably September 2018 on there. Because that's when I first started digging the post holes and stuff, and then it's like, or this one anyway, and it took for damn ever, because every time, out of an entire month, there's only been one day that I've had off from work, and I work just a regular 40 hours. It's only been one day that I've been off from work to work on this, and like that it's not been raining. There's a few days last week I went on a camping vacation and it did not rain, but every day that I got to work on this, it'll rain and sprinkle a little bit like it is right now, and I can't really get anything done. There's only been one day that I've had to myself in a whole damn month. Ever since the third week of September, all the way up into the third week of October of 2018, it's rained at least a little bit. And why I keep getting so damn mad is because I cannot safely get out the power tools, whether they be battery operated or electrically plug in. So I have to dig these post holes, and I can do a little bit of pouring concrete. I mean, you can get by with that in the rain, especially if it's very gentle rain, but it's kind of annoying that I'm really limited on what I can do, because the weather would, as it would appear, is conspiring against me, so I cannot get things done. Now, I just want to show you something real briefly. So, right where this pipe is, this green colored pipe in this post hole, if you follow it up, we're going to go straight up past this post hole that I've been digging there. I'm going to go straight up, and it's going to go right up to the gas meter, which I'm pretty sure I did not, puncture the pipe. I mean, these dials would be going crazy if I did. Yeah, because it's about this size pipe. It's just a different color. Now, luckily, this is steel pipe, and it'll handle a shovel being kind of smacked into it a little bit, versus like PVC pipe. So that's what's got me worried, is the size of the pipe and the position of it. So I'm guessing it goes straight back toward town, but I don't understand why it would not follow the road, just from a utility perspective. But then again, this house is being at least 100 years old. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Now there are 4x4s in the ground, like here, that are very old, where somebody has had a porch here, and you see there's not concrete all the way around it. I'm not sure how they did this, but you can't see the concrete there. Cannot see the concrete there. But here's some more there. So there used to be a deck attached to this porch here, and then underneath the porch, you can see where there was some concrete steps for a very long time ago. Here's these crickets, spider crickets, also known as humpback camel crickets. They're evil, and they hate Beak Child. So there they are there. I'm going to probably murder them too, in cold blood. With rubbing alcohol. So they all gather around a certain time. There's one down there. They weren't on here an hour ago during the daylight, so they're nocturnal. There's another one of them there. They are crickets, but they have the way their legs come out is a little bit more like a spider shape. I read an article saying these things bite. They've never bit me, but they jump around erratically. They're super scary. They're tiger stripe color too. They kind of look like shrimp, sort of, but like a cricket, sort of. And they're stupid. There's an actual spider right there, so you can see by comparison how the legs are. So I see a gap right there. I need to put some spray foam into to seal all this up. And that's really the reason for the foam. Yeah, it helps insulate some heat. Probably not a lot, to protect the pipes. But the main thing is I'm trying to keep these crickets out of these holes because they get up into my house. And I just, this is where they come in at. I mean, this is the only part right now that's not all sealed up. As you can see, there's a hole right there that's big enough for them to get into, and they usually gather around it. Put the light in, I can see a little bit into the bottom of the house, so I need to get the spray foam and seal this up. See, there's one of these assholes right there trying to invade my space. They come in here and they don't pay rent. They don't contribute anything to the house, and that's why they need to die. They're just squatting. Now here's this stone foundation for this house. It's been also added onto with a concrete block. But here's more stone right next to the concrete block, and then here's more of these freeloaders right there, these spider crickets, which really need to die. There's another place I need to seal up. So I'll probably do it on a sunny day when I can actually see some more. Yeah. Here's another area that I need to seal up. You can see all these little spider crickets there that were not even there 2 hours ago. So they just invade my space. There's a hole they can get into. And they do that because they're entitled, They're spoiled brats, and they're just freeloading there. So, yeah, I was worried. Well, I was hoping it's just this stuff, like pottery and stuff. Terracotta that was like under the ground. Then I just bust that stuff up with the with a shovel. Here's where I grow raspberries here. Here's some of my raspberry bushes. Still got some green leaves on them. Starting to die here on October 19th. The vine still looks pretty healthy. It grew like completely out of its confined space. This is metal chicken wire, so I can weed eat around here and I don't have to worry about the weed eater string messing up. And this is just bird netting. It's just plastic. It's green now. I think it's got some algae, but it was black. Whenever I put it in this, there's some of the original black. And it's starting to grow algae on it. It's been here since the summer of 2016. The late spring, early summer of 2016. These are golden raspberries, which I don't get a whole lot on there. I probably need to stop being lazy and I need to maintain this stuff better. But yeah, if you ever grow golden raspberries, if you ever eat them, they're really good. They're way better than regular raspberries. They're not overly sweet and they're not tart either. And they're just a pretty golden color, just very, very beautiful looking berry. So I'm gonna end this video, and this is just an update on my treehouse project. And of course today's date is October 19th, 2018.